Hello everyone for today's video. Just kidding. Stev here. If you got who that was a reference to, bonus points at the end. Stay tuned. Is he autistic? Are all chess streamers, players autistic? One of life's great questions. I'm just messing around. Today I'm here to take on chess bots again, and specifically Nora. Now I'm obviously playing her off when I'm not recording games, and I'm getting a little bored of playing against her. So I'm thinking if this is a series that continues, might just try to get a win off of Nora, then move on to another bot, and maybe you guys can see their different play styles and what kind of fun you can have with them. Personally, I've been playing some over the board chess in the last few weekends, and it's quite a bit of fun in my local city. Just nothing too serious. Open events for non-club members as well. Some very strong players show up, and there's quite a few benefits you get out of playing over the board versus online. One is just the mechanics of pieces moving, and especially if you have a time control, fast time control, getting the pieces out, slapping your clock down. I don't know why all these over the board chess players love these, like blitz time speeds. It's just too fast for me, but it's good practice. And the other thing is just the perspective, visual perspective. Like, I guess chess from online, it's almost as if you took a chess piece and you knocked it over and laid it out flat in its square and shrunk it down. And it looks like you can see everything on its square better, but just something about these tall pieces standing up, and especially in the middle of a position, takes me just a bit longer to analyze position. So that and combined with fast time control. Anyways, very good exercise. Had some very fun games, and I don't know, I might feature some, or if I get the selfie stick out, God forbid. So, all right, so we're taking on Nora. I'm gonna try to use my arrows like so, and I will allow move takebacks as usual. We're gonna play as a random color, and let me just see if that's all set up. 1 second. Yeah, so it's custom because I'm allowing takebacks, just in case I fluff up and trying to use the arrows. I'm not doing this regularly enough. All that said, let's jump into another game. Seems like we do get white. Okay, so Nora, just for reminders, loves to move her queen. So um, let's go with d4. Go for a d4 start. It's a kind of invitation for French, I guess. Uh, let's do this because Nora's not going to play normal moves anyway, so. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, so I think there's something wrong with just blocking that. Okay, so the queen drops all the way back, so this is kind of just pure waste of tempo. You might want your queen on e7 later, but you've lost the tempo, and I'm quite happy with my knight there. Especially because I can probably get in this move now, get a nice control on d5. I'm not sure if that's the matting in the position, but it just looks nice. I've also got bishop coming out. I'll try to keep this commentary to minimum and moves flowing, but just bear with me, I guess. So I think just e4 right away jumps out to me as the standout move, and then probably want something like this. And then maybe I can go bishop g5 just to pin that knight and take it from there, I guess. So let's go for that. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't even go. So I guess bishop g5, maybe play f6. Just as long as my knight's blocking in these bishops from coming out. Looks right. I mean, this knight's going to have to be driven to somewhere awkward. That's kind of why, having a queen there is getting in the well, it's dictating your development. It's not terrible, like, but losing the option for that square. So I'm just wondering if I should play d5 already, especially considering that black might just give up the dark square bishop, and then these will be a little bit weaker, but I assume black doesn't want to drop back. Okay, but on d5 could also have a capture, and then I don't like that position so much. So that said, e5 is another option, just to kind of lock down these pawns a little bit. Wondering where this bishop's gonna go though. It's very closed up. I could just do a simple bishop e2. I'm jumping around a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna do this. After going through all of that. Okay, interesting. So it looks like, I don't know if it's a pawn sacrifice. Might not be. Yeah, I want some pressure here. If black had dropped back, then I was going to play e5. That was sort of my thinking. And just getting this bishop out. And then sometimes you might just need to watch out for like all of this sensitivity, but black's not played in a normal developing way, so it'll be tough for them to, be getting out and stuff. So yeah. So here I could go e5. It would shut out my nice bishop. Because this captures, obviously, that helps me develop. So capturing here, obviously, let's remove those arrows. Capturing here is going to be a check on the recapture, which is why I don't win a pawn immediately right there. Oh, there they kind of knights coming there, f6, yeah, isn't a great idea. I like e5 here, just holding down things. Okay, so immediately, this is a good thing to do. Just challenge if your opponent has a strong pawn formation, just challenge it as soon as you can. If you don't, you might end up getting cramped. And I find engines at this level are pretty good at doing that. Okay, so I can just ignore this as well. Wondering about here or here even. I don't think I should take here. That's, to me, looks like a very bad move. Just encouraging black to get some development in. Also taking here for me doesn't really do much. Bishop e5, I don't know, stuff. So I'm thinking just a quiet bishop move. Maybe a3 as well. Kind of want to wait in the bishop move because I'm expecting this capture and then I want to, but this is just a tempo loss you have to deal with like these kind of c-pawn moves. So we'll be left with this isolated potentially on some of these captures, depending how I recapture. That is a possibility. I'm just going to go bishop e2. I like this. This is a quiet move. Okay, so yeah, here's the tempo loss. No, probably best I recapture. Stop going for that. Okay, very strange move from Nora here. So what's the evaluation here? We're equal on pawns, yeah. This is a strange move, to be honest. I don't know what she wants, maybe just to make room for one of these knights. Or the bishop to drop back. I mean, eventually this pawn is going to become a little touchy. But I have time to organize that. So I think just castling looks good to me. Ah, I'm just seeing it. Probably wanted this. Okay, my bishop is. Oh fuck. All right, sorry about this. I'm gonna undo that move because I was trying to. I love these. It's so annoying when the bots are chatting to you. I was trying to just demonstrate the bishop being loose here, not actually moving into g5. So I'm not going to call that a mouse slip because I'm still learning how to use these arrows. Right, back to the game. This is a nice move, just a quiet move. Okay, so I can foresee a lot of pressure ending up here now immediately. Rook e1 looks good to me. Queen b3, you're always going to have to look out for a move like that. And trading off this bishop. So I want to wait for this. This bishop obviously is loose, but I can always recapture. I may want my knight sitting there anyway, so I'm just going to play rook e1. Okay, g5, wow. Alright, so Nora's getting very creative with this. My first thoughts, let's go with the first thoughts, is can I sacrifice on here? So knight takes, takes, takes. No, because I don't get as much access as I want to this pawn here. But maybe I can arrange that with like a capture first, takes. And how is Nora defending if I just say capture, capture, and queen here? I guess some kind of king move. No, she's got knight back here, so defending on this square. Because I was thinking a king move, unless the king went here. Obviously, I've got this rook coming in as well. So this is in the air. I don't know if I need to do that now. So to justify giving up that piece, well, I'd be giving up two pieces. So what if I just wait with that because it looks looks like something's happening there. I can even play a move like so takes and knight g5 on the queen on this pawn. Everything on that pawn. That actually looks, to me, that looks very scary. And unless black's got a strong defense, like a strong counter attack, which you know it may do at some point, they could always add one more defender to that pawn, but it's still, I don't know. I don't have to go for this. Because what I was going to say before looking at the sacrifices is that black might be looking to play g4, so say bishop back to g3, g4. I mean, I'm not worried if I don't defend the pawn, but then it's kind of awkward where I'm looking for my pieces, so I'm just going to go for this. I like this move. I like to play with some intent, and hopefully if you're watching this, that means that I have one. Okay, so I've gotten one pawn for my piece, and I can't see how white's defending e6. Now, one thing an engine's good at is they don't even have to immediately take, so obviously I can capture this, but I don't have to just yet. You can build up the pressure if you want. The only thing is, it's annoying this pawn's here because I would like just these two guns just firing down against white queen, black's queen, king. Sorry. Okay, best piece to take with to me looks like the knight. Maybe there's a shove, but the bishop's quite good. I'm gonna go for a knight capture. Let's just calculate something. So say knight takes. I don't think black should take back, but say black does take back. Now I can either have a masked check with the bishop taking, or I could take with the rook directly, so that's an immediate check. King here looks very bad for any kind of discovered check with this bishop, so that doesn't look like an option. And never mind that this pawn can be kind of dangerous. And this pawn being gone also means this knight's jumping in. So I like the bishop. The other options obviously takes if black captures, and then the knight stays there with the rook capturing. Knight holding there, king going somewhere. So I like the bishop staying alive, so I'm going to take with the knight. Okay, so get a check. So I've gotten one pawn down now for my. I've gotten 2 pawns back for my piece. So it just sits there. Okay, interesting. So maybe I don't have enough for this because there's a rook coming here potentially. So I have to watch out for my back rank. So now's when the thinking cap gets on. So immediately I could just play a move like this. The queen under fire. Does that do anything? Queen takes. Rook takes. I think queen takes is a like a non sequitur, whatever you say. The screen somewhere else, but I'm just wondering. So say queen h5. I don't know. So the problem is I can't get on these dark squares. So this is something that I need to try to like envision. I was looking at something like this as well, with that being a threat to pick up the bishop, and then I can get on the dark squares. Yeah. Other options are knight coming in here, so immediately attacking the bishop. And I'm not doing anything much against the queen at that point. Maybe just drop the bishop back here. I mean, it looks scary, but if you don't have something concrete, you don't have something concrete. So one is just pawn on there. Or I can get my queen over. I mean, can I drop this? So here, and it's kind of complicated position. So can I drop that because my rook's under fire? No, because I take immediately with check. So I do need to watch for this pawn, I think. Another nice thing about getting the queen there is I can get my rook behind the other rook, rather than the queen behind the other rook and probably dropping that pawn, because I just don't see what it's doing to have the queen here, but I'd rather have my rook along this line. I think I'm going to move like this. Yeah, I don't think black has time for that. Could just take. I'd just like to find the knockout blow. I feel like there's a knockout blow. And sorry for taking my time here. So let's go back to this. So there, queen somewhere. He wants to keep an eye on the queen square. Does it do anything for me? It does support the rook coming there. Check. Takes. Takes. So if king had to take, maybe I have something there, you know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to play this. I just hope I haven't messed stuff up. Okay, very creative. Now the issue with this, obviously I can do g3. How quickly can black get into that hole there before I do something devastating myself? So something like g3, queen h5, rook takes, queen h3, king takes. That looks quite dangerous. So this looks like a bit of a desperado move, if I'm honest, from black. I have to go G3. There's isn't really another suitable defense at this moment. So let's do that. Okay, so just captures there. Right, so there's not much point to consider anything other than the recapture. Okay, wow. Black fights on. Right, so got another pawn back. I now have access to A3. How good is that? I guess king here. That pawn out of the way. And am I getting in somehow? Because if I'm not getting in, black's doing all right. What about some kind of sack here? I need to always be careful about my own checkmate on G2. So I still think that king looks very open. I just don't know if I want to encourage it to go to G7. Gets the rook out. You know, I want it to do it, but like on my own time. So what's the best move now? Probably a rook move. Probably best because this is also pinned. So I think a rook move. I would have liked to go to B1, but the queen's on that. Be careful. Yeah, and this sort of messing stuff up. I don't know. I don't rate it so much. I want to just sort of maintain the pressure. Is black trying to get its... I can't move the knight now, so I don't really know what black's doing at the moment. It's probably going to play king G7 anyways. Yeah, but at least there, then I might consider a sacrifice, something like that. So I think this is a good move. Yeah, so king G7. Okay. So obviously this knight is holding up E7. It's doing a job of it. So first thoughts is maybe a capture this way. Check. The king just goes back. It could hide, but I don't know. I'd say it just goes back and ask the rook what it's doing there. Not sure what I've got there. So maybe I need a more subtle approach. Like, obviously that's off the question, so I want to kind of damage this. So black might have time for this, and I've also got to be careful as well. So I need a move that does something with kind of urgency. Because these knights are actually kind of hovering around the king very well. Yeah. Annoying. Just takes. Can even maybe play this. Just return back. Okay, so now it takes, queen takes. Look here. This video is getting a little long, so I think I might just go for something a bit more dramatic. One thing I'm worried about is here. Look here. I can't come off because of the queen getting in there. I've got some issues. I'll play it. It's taking a bit long. Yeah. So I can't capture here because just this, and I won't be able to recapture. So that's definitely annoying. Now taking, just take with the rook. It's definitely another issue. Um, what if I just play h4? Am I getting into trouble? I'm losing my rook battery. A little bit worried about something like this, 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 or even before, so I don't know. But rather take with the rook here. I don't think it's a mate. Oh, okay, wants to take here. That's the idea. Well, not much I can do about that. Oh, that's very bad. Wow. Wow. Right. Well, not sure if I'm going to upload this. At the end there. That's my only move, and that's checkmate. So I'll play to Nora. Let's look at a game review. Why not? I don't really like chess.com's game review setup. I prefer just doing the generic engine analysis. Not very strong play from me. Really poor game. I generally hold quite well. I think maybe some of my attack was a little bit. I had an edge for a while. Let's start this review. Okay. Can I show analysis? Wow, thank you. Queen h4 obviously not good. So e4, yeah, just controlling the center. I thought that was alright. Bishop f4 not the greatest. What does it want? Knights. Bishop t3. Okay. Alright, so moving on. t5 is missing something. e5 not the strongest. It wants bishop d3 here as well. Okay. f6. Okay, we're both missing stuff left and right, so I should be taking here. Okay, so maybe then just to get like this and then the rook out, I guess. I don't know. I'll go through some lines. I think there's a few more critical. Yeah, I thought that was a very bad move as well. I think there's a few more critical. So this is typical of my games with Nora getting like a +3 and then knight g. So g5 is excellent. Okay. Yeah, I thought this was fine. Maybe not the strongest. So the sacrifice was kind of sound. They want d5. Wow. So different versions of sacrifices, but there's some issues. There's trouble looming for black. So d5. Interesting. And then, okay, well, not a sacrifice because I guess you're on the knight. And do you even have time to drop the knight back? I guess there's a big problem. It's probably a big problem with that. Yeah. Okay, so let's go with my move. Bishop. So bishop takes first. So not driving the queen away. Bishop takes and knight g5. then. Okay. Okay, interesting. So this is also fine. So was bishop takes better or knight takes? Well, here I think I have to, right? Because I'm dropping the knight. Bishop takes was better. Okay. So that's fine. So I'll make black has time for that move. Okay, so this was also right. That's fine. F7, so F did want F7 there. Okay. Knight D5 also an option. I just didn't see what F7 was doing, so let me just check that before going with what I did. F7, Queen F5, okay, that's the H5 maybe. F5. Oh my god, so dumb. You just take with Queen. Unbelievable. Right, definitely not uploading this. Alright, just keep it for fun. Okay. Well, yeah. That's obviously the... See, I just miss, like, natural continuations. It's a bit late, I'm tired. Okay, shouldn't capture back here, should take here. Wow. Yeah, now I'm just losing the plot a bit. D5 necessary. G7's fine. Yeah, I'm already losing here because of that move. Yeah, and obviously I'm not safe at the back, which I thought I would be. Didn't really calculate it out. Alright, well played to Nora, and thanks for watching.